We have more for your ears only. I'm Catherine Herzog.
I'm David Alpern with this quote from the news: "Shameful, despicable, barbaric." That was a condemnation of the Taliban's near-fatal shooting of a 14-year-old advocate for women's education in Pakistan, tweeted by the charity wing of extremist Lashkar-e-Taiba, which follows a different strain of Islam. The Taliban said it would keep targeting the girl. Now this.
How they cheer, how they smile as we go galloping down the aisle. It's divine, dear, it's divine, dear, it's the wunderbar, it's the victory, it's the wallop, it's the winner, it's the Vikes, it's the lovely.
The Cole Porter classic De Lovely, as channeled by the late cabaret legend Mabel Mercer. This week, the foundation named after her presents its 23rd annual New York Cabaret Convention to keep the music Mabel loved alive. Nothing to do with politics or voting, long speeches, or balloon drops. Rather, it's 3 nights of concerts at New York's Jazz at Lincoln Center that present veteran stars and promising newcomers to the world of great American songs and the intimate venues where they may be best sung.
This year's convention is different from all 22 that went before because the man who created them and the Mabel Mercer Foundation itself, Donald Smith, is gone. Smith, who handled press and arrangements for Mercer and other performers for years, died in March. Taking his place as artistic director of the foundation is singer-actress Katie Sullivan, a frequent guest on this program. And to talk about the convention, the foundation, Mercer, and Smith, for your ears only, Katie is on the line now. Welcome back to our show.
Thank you, David. It's great to be back.
First, tell us a little more about Mabel Mercer, where she came from, when and where she sang.
Well, she came from England. Her mother was Welsh. Her father was an American tap dancing jazz singer, actually. And her mother birthed her at 14. And then she herself started on the road at 14 in music halls in England and then wound up in Paris before the war, obviously. She was born in 1900, sang at Bricktops, headlined there. Cole Porter used to come and see her. In fact, Cole Porter thought her version of Just One of Those Things was the best. He also came to her with Love for Sale. She was the first person to sing Love for Sale. And, of course, she was the first one to introduce Wilder Young. She was a good friend of Alec Wilder. So before the war, she escaped. Everyone advised her to get out of Paris. Her travel was paid for by Joe Carstairs of the Cunard line, and for her debut at the Roubaix Blue, where Bart Howard was her pianist, she had a dress that was given to her by Marlene Dietrich, one of her fans, and shoes and bag from the Duchess of Windsor. And then she became the toast of Cafe Society in New York, with a little time off during the war where she escaped to the Bahamas. So we basically are talking about the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and still in her 70s. In the 70s, she was still singing. At a lot of places, I don't know, I wasn't able to frequent these places. We all know these Cleos, there was Tony's, there was Bonsoir, there was the Regis Roof, the St. Regis Roof.
I saw it upstairs at the downstairs in 1964, yes. Most sophisticated performer I could think of when I had my first weekend pass.
I envy you, David. I wish I'd caught her.
How did Donald Smith get connected with her, and for how long?
Well, he was her publicist and her sort of advisor and manager, because her friend Harriet Beard got very ill in, I guess, in the late 60s. And then, so Donald started taking care of her, and for no pay, by the way. He just loved her. He adored her. He heard her first when he was in the service. He was a young serviceman in New Jersey, actually. For his one drink at the bar, he could hear several sets of Mabel Mercer, became her friend. And then when she needed him, he came to her rescue. He had a lot to do with her getting the Medal of Freedom in Washington, D.C. Ronald Reagan actually sent a card to her when she was in the hospital the week she died. She got and also a phone call from Frank Sinatra the day before she died. And that Sinatra, of course, said that everything you learned about singing, you learned from Mabel Mercer.
Talk about the goals Smith set for the Mabel Mercer Foundation, beyond keeping the memory of its namesake alive.
The namesake and the songs she sang, to keeping the American Songbook alive, and also to be sung by younger people. Obviously, Mabel was born in 1900. In fact, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal this week where I told that I was at Birdland just a few weeks ago, and I heard this rock band come in, and they kind of took over the stage and blasting, and I put in earplugs and it was still too loud. I didn't know what they were singing about, or it was just, and it was sort of inappropriate, and what Mabel sang in intimate spaces. Then a girl got up, and she was like 19 years old, and she's singing My Man. Oh, my man, I love him so, he'll never, and she was singing it like she discovered this song. And she made it her own, and we were all in the palm of her hand, and I was thinking, this is what Mabel is about, this is what cabaret is about. This is telling a story. Mabel always told a story, and so there's sometimes acting involved. Cabaret can be anything. There are jazz singers that do cabaret.
Well, the foundation stages concerts. There are cash awards to inspire and support new performers. There are cruises now to take people on the seas with the music with them.
Yes.
What kind of changes are you planning for the foundation now that you've taken over the role of artistic director?
That's just finalized a cruise with Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano. We'll be going to from Fort Lauderdale to Barbados and back. And there's also going to be some smaller a venue called the Players Club there in Gramercy Park. We'll be going in there. Donald started at the National Arts, having 3 or 4 concerts a year of younger singers, younger undiscovered singers, 4 or 5 singers presented when we're not quite ready for Rose Hall. To have an outreach program. We're also going to have some people this year from NYU. When you're about college age, Mabel had a lot of college fans, people in college that I guess, David, you were probably young when you heard Mabel. There's a certain age when you can get the double entendre, you can get the lyrics, and you feel like you're in on something, which high schoolers usually don't have. Sometimes high schools do, but junior high and below, they really don't get it. So we don't really go into the schools at that young an age, but I think we can start going into high schools and colleges and getting recruits. I found that once kids hear these lyrics, like the girl singing My Man at Birdland, but younger people listen to it the first time and they go, wow, what's that? And if someone on Star Searcher, one of those American Idol shows, a girl sings Don't Rain on My Parade, they go, wow, because it works. Julie Stein works. It's not like a pop song that doesn't have a beginning, a middle, or an end. It's a story-driven song that makes it's exciting for young people, too. They're just not exposed to it, so we want to help to expose it.
Singer and actress K.T. Sullivan is the new artist director of the Mabel Mercer Foundation, mabelmercer.org, and its 23rd New York Cabaret Convention, 6 p.m., October 17th, 18th, and 19th in Jazz at Lincoln Center's Rose Hall in Manhattan. Now more Mabel.
Oh, where is that combination so rare? A highly admissible, kissable boy who fill me with practically kill me with joy and still be a millionaire. Tell me where, oh where, oh where.
And now here's this quote from the news. The best news we've had in a decade. That was University of California at San Diego Alzheimer's researcher Paul Eisen on selection of 3 different types of drugs for the first large-scale international attempt at prevention in those genetically disposed to the disease.
Next, Melody and Marriage, husband and wife singers for your ears only.